Welcome to the Sermon Shot Suite. The tour today is of Sermon Send. We're going to start first of all with your brand kit. Your brand kit, if you have one filled out in Sermon Shot side of the house, it will be an exact copy. If you don't have those in your account, you can always set them. Logo, colors, typography. Next up, we're going to head into the settings. And on the settings, you're going to start with your custom profile URL. You can change that to be typically the name of your church, though it can be anything you want. That is going to be your static link. So keep that in mind as you do your naming. It is something that your users are going to see. The next section, we're going to ask whether or not you want to link Sermon Shots to Sermon Send. This will enable a link between the two sides of your account so that you can access all of your files on either side. The last decision you're going to make is whether or not you want your page of Sermon Send to be set to auto approve. This will save you some time. It won't ever be missing, but you always have the option of keeping that off if you want to review everything of the content before you get that published. Both the link and the auto approval are optional. Personally, I do have Sermon Shots linked to Sermon Send so that all of the content is automatically populated. However, I keep auto approval off because I often want to review that content before it goes live. Next, you're going to click into the Sermon Send part of the suite, and you'll have a listing of all of the sermons that you have in your Sermon Shots account if those two things are tied together. If you're not currently a Sermon Shots user, one, what are you waiting for? It's a great way to reuse all of your content. But two, you also have the option of using Sermon Send as a standalone by creating a new page for each one of your sermons. I do have my sides of the accounts tied together, so I have pre-populated data. This is my most recent sermon, and I am going to head into it to do some editing. Clicking on that thumbnail is going to give me a listing of things that I can change, as well as a preview that builds along with me. So the first thing I have that I can adjust is a sermon title. Next up is when I want the devotionals to display. Lots of different bodies have lots of different days that they host their services on, or when they want to show those devotionals. So you're going to customize those on the calendar. Once you have those dates set, you can click confirm and your calendar will be set. Next up, you can see your colors and your typography from the branding. Next up, you can add a call to action or a description, and this is fully editable. So feel free to click on it. You'll get the standard editing bar, including hyperlinks if you need them. You can also upload any files you want. Be sure to click Save Changes when you make any of those so that they will display in your preview. Then you're going to hit Next and head into day one of your devotional. If you do have Sermon Shots and Sermon Send tied together, all of this content will pre-populate from the content that Sermon Shots generates. However, it remains fully editable by you, and that is true for each one of your days. Just go ahead and click through, adjust your titles, your message, your verse, your quote of the day, and reflection questions. Once you have all of that content set, click Next. And this is where you can put in any media that you want. Maybe photographs you took the day of service, maybe clips that you've made using Sermon Shots, inspirational graphics, what have you. Please do note the restrictions for the upload sizes are underneath of the upload file button. So if something fails, take a look at that. Make sure that you're within those ratios before you hit upload again. Once you have that media uploaded, click Next. And this is where you're going to have both a video version of your message, the audio message, and then down below any text that you want to include. Again, Sermon Shots tied together. This is where your discussion guide will land. Last step is going to be to publish your content. Clicking Publish will give you a page status updated, and then that page is going to look a little bit like this for the main version of this devotional and sermon. You can grab onto the audio here and all of the discussion guide here. If you want to explore other sermons, there's going to be a listing at the bottom. Any of these passages can be shared on social. You can see a listing of all of the sermons that you have uploaded, including the most recent, and it's going to show day one of your devotional. Clicking Read More will bring you into that singular page. Thank you for joining me for the tour today. I hope this helps. Happy building.